A shepherd boy has a recurring dream. In it, a child leads him to the Egyptian pyramids and tells him that if he travels there, he will find a hidden treasure. He wakes up the second time, dismisses it as just a dream, and goes back to tending his sheep. Most of us do exactly this with our own dreams. Wake up, shake it off, and go back to routine. But this boy doesn't. And that single decision, to actually chase what showed up in his sleep, becomes one of the most quietly influential stories ever written about what it means to live a meaningful life. This is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, a novel that has sold over 65 million copies worldwide, and whose central idea has become so widely repeated that people often don't even realize where it originally came from. Let's walk through the journey and the philosophy underneath it. The boy's name is Santiago. He's an Andalusian shepherd who could have lived a perfectly comfortable, uneventful life. He owns a flock, he travels a little, he even has his eye on a merchant's daughter in a nearby town. By most standards, this is already a fine existence. But that recurring dream about treasure at the pyramids won't leave him alone. So he visits an old woman who interprets dreams, and later encounters a mysterious old king named Melchizedek, who tells him something that becomes the philosophical engine of the entire book. Every person has what the story calls a personal legend, the one true purpose they were born to fulfill. Most people, the king explains, abandon their personal legend somewhere along the way, not because they can't achieve it, but because the world convinces them it's impractical, risky, or simply not meant for people like them. Santiago sells his sheep and sets out for Egypt. This decision alone is the first real test of the book's core idea, because pursuing your purpose almost always requires giving up something safe and known. Almost immediately, he's robbed of nearly all his money in Tangier. This is where a lot of people would turn back. Instead, Santiago takes a job working for a crystal merchant, and this section of the book is often overlooked, but it might be the most quietly important part of the whole story. The merchant himself once dreamed of visiting Mecca, but he never went because he was afraid that once the dream was fulfilled, he would have nothing left to live for. He preferred the comfort of the unfulfilled dream to the risk of actually chasing it. Santiago works with him, helps grow the business dramatically, earns enough money to continue his journey, and ultimately teaches the merchant that dreams are meant to be pursued, not just held onto safely from a distance. From here, Santiago joins a caravan crossing the desert toward the Egyptian pyramids, and this is where the book introduces its most famous and most quoted philosophical thread: the idea that the universe conspires to help you when you're genuinely pursuing what you're meant to do. Along the caravan, he meets an Englishman who is searching for an alchemist, a legendary figure said to be capable of turning lead into gold, and who has apparently lived for centuries. Through the Englishman, Santiago starts learning to read omens, small signs in the world around him, birds in flight, patterns in the sand, moments of unexplainable intuition that quietly point toward the right path forward. Then war breaks out among desert tribes, and the caravan is forced to stop at an oasis, where Santiago falls in love with a woman named Fatima. This is one of the more emotionally rich parts of the book, because Fatima doesn't ask Santiago to stay. She understands that if he abandons his journey for her, some part of him will always resent that choice. She tells him that a woman of the desert understands that men must leave to come back, and this becomes one of the book's quieter but more mature ideas. Real love supports someone's purpose instead of asking them to abandon it. At the oasis, Santiago also finally meets the alchemist himself, who agrees to guide him the rest of the way across the desert toward the pyramids. Their relationship becomes the philosophical core of the final act. The alchemist teaches him that the desert, the wind, the sun, all of nature is, in a sense, speaking the same universal language, and that anyone who learns to listen closely enough to their surroundings and to their own heart can understand it. Along the way, Santiago and the alchemist are captured by a warring tribe, and in a tense scene, Santiago is forced to prove he can transform himself into the wind or be killed. Whether or not you read this literally, symbolically it represents something that happens to almost anyone who commits deeply to a purpose. At some point, you are asked to demonstrate that your connection to your goal is not just wishful thinking, but something you're willing to stake everything on. Honestly, having gone through a lot of personal development philosophy for this channel, I think this scene works precisely because it makes belief costly. It's easy to say you trust your purpose in comfortable moments. The story is really asking what happens when trusting it might get you killed. Santiago survives and continues on, eventually reaching the pyramids. Here comes the twist that gives the book its final, most memorable idea. He begins digging where his dream told him to, and instead of treasure, he's attacked by thieves who beat him and take what little he has left. As he lies there, one of the thieves mocks him, mentioning that he once had a recurring dream himself about treasure buried in the ruins of an old church in Spain, specifically underneath a sycamore tree where shepherds and their sheep often sleep. He never bothered chasing that dream because, in his own words, only a fool would travel that far because of a dream. Santiago realizes, in that moment, that the treasure was never actually in Egypt. It was back home the entire time, buried under the very ruins where he used to sleep with his own flock. The physical journey across the desert wasn't wasted, though. It was necessary because it was the process of pursuing his personal legend that transformed him into someone capable of recognizing the treasure once he returned to it. So, what's the actual takeaway from all of this? The book's philosophy isn't really about literal treasure hunting. It's about the idea that the things we're searching for are often closer than we assume, but we have to go through the process of pursuing our purpose, taking the risk, facing the setbacks, learning to listen to the world around us, before we're actually capable of seeing what was there all along. The value isn't only in the destination. It's in who the journey turns you into by the time you arrive. If this story resonated with you, the book explores even more about the concept of the soul of the world and how personal fear is often the single biggest obstacle standing between people and their purpose. Subscribe for more book breakdowns like this one, and let us know in the comments what your own personal legend might be.